Hello, welcome. This is Tina from Tina Heals, and now I will start reading stanza 1 from The Secret Doctrine. It is broken up into, I think, 12 parts, so I will not be explaining or discussing anything in this particular video. I will just be reciting the stanza. So let's get straight to it. It's called Cosmic Evolution. It's translated from the book of Zion. Stanza 1, Part 1. The eternal parent, wrapped in her ever-invisible robes, had slumbered once again for 7 eternities. Time was not, for it lay asleep in the infinite bosom of duration. Universal mind was not, for there was no he to contain it. The 7 ways to bliss were not. The great causes of misery were not, for there was no one to produce and get ensnared by them. Darkness alone filled the boundless all, for Father, Mother, and Son were once more one. And the Son had not awakened yet for the new veil and his pilgrimage thereon. The 7 sublime lords and the 7 truths had ceased to be, and the universe, the sun of necessity, was immersed in Paranishpanna, to be outbreathed by that which is, and yet is not. Not was. The causes of existence had been done away with. The visible that was and the invisible that is rested in eternal non-being. The one being. Alone the one form of existence, stretched boundless, infinite, causeless in dreamless sleep, and life pulsated unconscious in universal space throughout that all-presence which is sensed by the opened eye of the Dhamma. But where was the Dhamma when the alaya of the universe was in Paramartha and the great veil was Anupadaka? So that was stanza 1, and now I will move on to reading stanza 2. I thought I would do them in separate videos, but I think I could get most of them done in one video. So stanza 2. Where were the builders, the luminous sons of Manvantaric dawn, in the unconscious darkness, in their he Paranishpanna, the producers of form from no form, the root of the world, the Deva Matri and Swabhavat, rested in the bliss of non-being. Where was silence? Where the ears to sense it? No, there was neither silence nor sound, naught save ceaseless eternal breath, which knows itself not. The hour had not yet struck. The ray had not yet flashed into the germ. The Matri Padma had not yet swollen. Her heart had not yet opened for the one ray to enter, thence to fall, as 3 into 4 into the lap of Maya. The 7 sons were not born from the web of light. Darkness alone was Father, Mother, Swabhavat, and Swabhavat was in darkness. These 2 are the germ, and the germ is one. The universe was still concealed in the divine thought and the divine bosom. Stanza 3. The last vibration of the 7th eternity thrills through infinitude. The mother swells, expanding from within, without, like the bud of the lotus. The vibration sweeps along, touching with its swift wing the whole universe and the germ that dwelleth in darkness, the darkness that breathes over the slumbering waters of life. Darkness radiates light, and light drops one solitary ray into the mother deep. The ray shoots to the virgin egg. The egg causes the eternal egg to thrill and drop the non-eternal germ which condenses into the world egg. Then the three fall into the four. The radiant essence becomes seven inside, seven outside. The luminous egg, which in itself is three, curdles and spreads in milk-white curds throughout the depths of mother. The root that grows in the depths of the oceans of life. The root remains, the light remains, the curds remain, and still Oyo is one. The root of life was in every drop of the ocean of immortality, and the ocean was radiant light, which was fire and heat and motion. Darkness vanished and was no more. It disappeared in its own essence. The body of fire and water of father and mother. Behold, O Lanu, the radiant child of the two, the unparalleled refulgent glory, bright space, son of dark space, which emerges from the depths of the great dark waters. It is Ouyao, the younger. He shines forth as the sun. He is a blazing divine dragon of wisdom. The one is four, and the four takes to itself three, and the union produces the Sapta, in whom are the seven, which become the three dasha, or the hosts, and the multitudes. Behold him lifting the veil and unfurling it from east to west. He shuts out the above and leaves the below to be seen as the great illusion. He marks the places for the shining ones and turns the upper into a shoreless sea of fire, and the one manifested into the great waters. Where was the germ, and where was now darkness? Where is the spirit of the flame that burns in thy lamp, O Lanu? The germ is that, and that is light. The white, brilliant sun of the dark, hidden Father. Light is cold flame, and flame is fire, and fire produces heat, which yields water, the water of life in the great Mother. Father, Mother, spin a web whose upper end is fastened to spirit, the light of the one darkness, and the lower one to a shadowy end, matter. And this web is the universe spun out of two substances made into one, which is Swabhavat. It expands when the breath of fire is upon it. It contracts when the breath of the mother touches it. Then the suns dissociate and scatter to return into their mother's bosom at the end of the great day and re-become one with her. When it is cooling, it becomes radiant, and the suns expand and contract through their own selves and hearts. They embrace infinitude. Then Swabhavat sends for heart to harden the atoms. Each is a part of the web, reflecting the self-existent Lord. Like a mirror, each becomes in turn a world. Many world theory, multiple universes. Do you see that? Stanza 4. Listen, ye sons of the earth, to your instructors, the sons of the fire. Learn there is neither first nor last, for all is one. Number issued from no number. Learn what we, who descend from the primordial seven, We who are born from the primordial fire have learned from our fathers. From the effulgency of light, the ray of the ever-darkness, sprang in face the reawakened energies, the one from the ego, the 6 and the 5, then the 3, the 1, the 4, the 1, the 5, the twice, 7, the sum total. And these are the essences, the flames, the elements, the builders, the numbers, the rupa, the force of divine man, the sum total. And from the divine man emanated the forms, the spark, the sacred animals, and the messengers of the sacred fathers within the holy four. I was sitting in Vajrasana, so okay. Listen, ye sons of the earth. Oh, I did that. This was the army of the voice, the divine mother of the 7. The sparks of the 7 are subject to, and the servants of the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th of the 7. These sparks are called spheres, triangles, cubes, lines, and modulars. For thus stands the eternal Nidana, the Ouyau, which is darkness. The boundless or the known number, Adi Nidana Swabhavat. The Adi Sanat, the number, for he is one. The voice of the Lord Swabhavat, the numbers, for he is 1 and 9. The formless square, and these 3 enclosed within the circle are the sacred 4, and the 10 are the Arupa universe. Then comes the suns, which are the 7 fighters, the 1 they left out, and his breath, which is the light maker. Then the second 7, who are the Lipikas, produced by the 3. The rejected one is the sun. Suns are countless. Sun being S-O-N, hyphen S-U-N-S. So suns, S-O-N, sun, hyphen suns, S-U-N-S, are countless. Now we move on to stanza 5. The primordial 7, the first 7 breaths of the dragon of wisdom, produce in their turn from their holy circumgyrating breaths the fiery whirlwind. They make of him the messenger of their will, the Ziu, okay, D-G-Y-U, Q becomes for half. The swift son of the divine sons, whose sons are the Lipikas, runs circular errands. For heart is the steed, and the thought is the rider. He passes like lightning through the fiery clouds, takes 3 and 5 and 7 strides through the 7 regions above and the 7 below. He lifts his voice and calls the innumerable sparks and joins them. He is their guiding spirit and leader. Where he commences work, he separates the sparks of the lower kingdom that float and thrill with joy in their radiant dwellings, and forms 3 with the germs of wheels. He places them in the 6 directions of space, and 1 in the middle, the central wheel. 4 heart traces spiral lines to unite the 6th to the 7th, the crown. An army of the sons of light stand at each angle, and the Lipikas in the middle wheel. They say, "This is good. This is the first divine world is ready. The first is now the second." Then the divine Arupa reflects itself in Chaya Loka, the first garment of the Anupadaka. 4 heart takes 5 strides and builds a winged wheel at each corner of the square for the 4 holy ones and their armies. The Lipikas circumscribe the triangle, the first one, the cube, the second one, and the pentacle within the egg. It is a ring called Pass Not for those who descend and ascend. also for those who during the Kalpa are progressing towards the great day. Be with us. Thus were formed the Rupa and the Arupa. From one light, 7 lights. From each of the 7 times 7 lights. The wheels watch the ring. Stanza 6. By the powers of the Mother of mercy and knowledge, Kuan Yin, the triple of Kuan Shin Yin, residing in Kuan Yin Tien for heart, the breath of their progeny, the son of their sons having called forth from the lower abyss the elusive form of Hien, Chang, and the 7 elements. The swift and radiant one produces the 7 lyre centers, against which none will prevail to the great day. Be with us, and seats the universe on these eternal foundations surrounding Tien Chang, Hien, Tien Chang, with the elementary germs. Of the 7, first one manifested, 6 concealed, 2 manifested, 5 concealed, 3 manifested, 4 concealed, 4 produced, 3 hidden, 4 and 1 sang relieved, 2 and 1 half concealed, 6 to be manifested, 1 laid aside. Lastly, 7 small wheels revolving, 1 giving birth to the other. He builds them in the likeness of older wheels, placing them on the imperishable centers. How does Fuhat build them? He collects the fiery dust. He makes balls of fire, runs through them and round them, infusing life thereinto, then sets them into motion, some one way, some the other way. They are cold. He makes them hot. They are dry. He makes them moist. They shine. He fans and cools them. Thus acts Fuhat, from one twilight to the other during 7 eternities. At the 4th, the sons are told to create their images. 1/3 refuses to obey. The curse is pronounced. They will be born in the 4th, suffer and cause suffering. This is the first war. The older wheels rotated downwards and upwards. The mother's spawn filled the world, the whole. The mother's spawn filled the whole. There were battles fought between the creators and the destroyers, and battles fought for space, the seed appearing and reappearing continuously. Make thy calculations, O Lanu, if thou wouldst learn the correct age of the small wheel. Its 4th spoke is our mother. Reach the 4th fruit of the 4th path of knowledge that leads to nirvana, and thou shalt comprehend, for thou shalt see. Stanza 6. Behold the beginning of sentient formless life. First the divine, the one from the mother spirit, then the spiritual, the 3 from the 1, the 4 from the 1, and the 5 from which the 3, the 5, and the 7. These are the threefold, the fourfold downward, the mind-born sons of the first Lord, the shining 7. It is they who are thou. It is they who are thou, me, him, O Lanu, they who watch over thee and thy mother earth. The one ray multiplies the smaller rays. Life precedes form, and life survives the last atom of form. Throughout the countless rays precedes the life ray, the one like a thread through many jewels. When the one becomes 2, the threefold appears, and the 3 are one, and it is our thread, O Lanu, the thread of the man plant called Saptaparna. It is the root that never dies, the 3-tongued flame of the 4 wicks. The wicks are the sparks that draw from the 3-tongued flame shot out by the 7, their flame. The beams and sparks of one moon reflected in the running waves of all the rivers of earth. The spark hangs from the flame by the finest thread of Fuhat. It journeys through the 7 worlds of Maya. It stops in the first and is a metal and a stone. It passes into the second, and behold, a plant. The plant whirls through 7 changes and becomes a sacred animal. From the combined attributes of these Manu, the thinker is formed. Who forms him? The 7 lives and the 1 life. Who completes him? The 5-fold law. The who formed him? The 5-fold law. And who perfects the last body? Fish, sin, and soma. From the firstborn, the thread between the silent watcher and a shadow becomes more strong and radiant with every change. The morning sunlight has changed into noonday glory. This is thy present wheel, said the flame to the spark. Thou art myself, my image, and my shadow. I have clothed myself in thee, and thou art my Vahana to this day. Be with us, when thou shalt re-become myself and others, thyself and me. When the builders, having donned their first clothing, descend on radiant earth and reign over men who are themselves. Thus ends this portion of the archaic narrative, dark, confused, almost incomprehensible. An attempt will now be made to throw light into this darkness, to make sense out of what is apparent nonsense. So join me in the next video when I will be reading each stanza and discussing in detail all about that stanza. Thank you.